Okay, bros. We're here for your weekly NXT Fix, featuring the ever so popular Bro Ratings. Now, here's your host. Okay, bros, I'm your host, Jimmy the Gibson, and we're here for another episode of your weekly NXT Fix. And because it's Tuesdays, we are wearing whatever shirt we want. That's right, baby. Speaking of which, Adam Cole, baby, makes his return to NXT TV for the first time since that brutal match with Kyle O'Reilly. So let's get right into things here. Our first match this evening, Dakota Kai, accompanied by NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez versus Mercedes Martinez. Pretty solid bout between the two. It looked like there was, it could go either way. And Dakota Kai has been taking a lot of losses lately as Raquel is the champion, so you don't want to keep just pushing Dakota into the ground here and letting her get stepped on by everybody, so to speak. But they're setting up Mercedes Martinez to be the next threat for Raquel Gonzalez. So it made sense why Raquel Gonzalez gets involved, big boot to Mercedes Martinez just as she had the upper hand on Dakota. Raquel Gonzalez boots Mercedes, disqualification. Your winner by DQ, Mercedes Martinez. So I understand why it happened, just not a big fan of DQ finishes. So if they are going, which is announced later on this evening, they are going with Raquel Gonzalez versus Mercedes Martinez for the NXT Women's Championship coming up in 2 weeks. Then you know what? Let Mercedes Martinez win this match. Cleanly, pinfall or submission. So with that being said, bros, I'm going to end my rant there. We're going to give this opening contest a 7.4 on the bro ratings. Moving on, we have backstage, Shotzi and Ember are ready for Candice and Indy because they lost their way. Ha 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 ha. Frankie Monet then shows up with her little puppy, and flowers are delivered to Shotzi and Ember. Very strange. And Frankie says, "Oh, Shotzi, Ember, hi, Frankie Monet here. Let me read what's on your card. Oh, it's from Dexter Lumis." And Ember Moon was like, "It must be yours, Shotzi. I'm married." And Shotzi's like, "Ew, no." And Ember's like, "No, I saw the way you were looking at him, and he was looking at you." And Shotzi's like, no way, I'm not interested. Ember's like, "Well, don't give him to me." And that's what happened. So, what's going on here? Is there some sort of controversy with Dexter Lumis? Not sure where this whole storyline's going, but hopefully we find out. Cameron Grimes is shopping for a new watch, and he goes, "Watch out now." Cameron Grimes is in the building, and I just thought that was hilarious. I mean, Grimes time. That guy is money. Next up, we have a little in-ring segment and a little in-ring interview with the grizzled young veterans, Zach Gibson, James Drake. They say, you know what? The titles don't make the men, but the men make the titles. So MSK is obviously afraid of NXT's soon-to-be #1 tag team, the grizzled young veterans. And they were interrupted, of course, because that's what you do in in-ring interviews, by Old Man Ciampa and Toothless Timmy. Tommaso and Timothy Thatcher come by, and you know what? They say, well, sounds like both of our teams are looking to get a shot at MSK. So, you know, we've been looking into what you guys have to offer here in NXT, and you guys got the better of us last time. But next time won't be the same because Timothy Thatcher's been studying you guys. Thatcher grabs the mic and he says, you know, since I've been studying you, I noticed one thing specifically one of your weaknesses. Showed up on NXT UK Cardiff. And what was that? Oh, well, we learned that if you hate Gibson, shoes off. If you hate Gibson, shoes off. Well, Tommaso Ciampa pulled his shoe off, and they keep chanting it. Grizzled young veterans are upset. And Ciampa just whacks them both in the head with his shoe. Brutal attack. So, looking forward to this tag team action between these two teams down the road. So, pretty solid interview. I mean, gets the point across. They both want a title shot. Maybe this is going to be a number one contenders match. So, pretty good stuff right there. And we're going to give this in-ring interview with the Grizzled Young Veterans a 7.5 on the bro ratings. Moving on. Drake Maverick thinks that Killian Dain might turn on him and join Imperium. Or he might just up and leave their team. So he's very concerned about their tag team match later on. And we see a little video package. Xia Li and Tian Sha. Guess it's just reminding us that they're still there. Who knows what that one was all about. And then we see Isaiah Swerve Scott, and he's challenging Leon Ruff to a Falls Count Anywhere match. Going into our next match, we have NXT rookie, I believe Performance Center trainee, Zayda Ramier versus Toni Storm. Toni Storm coming out looking like a rock star, just pummeling Zayda Ramier with kicks. I mean, I think she even hit a Storm Zero, but then picked her up, wasn't going to pin her right away, got her to the top rope. Who walks out? Zoe Stark. That's right. Zoe Stark comes in, and Toni Storm's like, what's going on? Just completely distracted. Zayda Ramier hits Toni Storm a couple times, knocks her off the top ropes, and then it's an unbelievable shooting star press. Zayda Ramier, picture perfect, shooting star press. 1, 2, 3. What a huge upset in NXT history here. Performance Center trainee Zayda Ramier defeating Toni Storm. My goodness. That was a crazy ending to what was basically a squash match, and I loved it. Very reminiscent of Leon Ruff winning the NXT North American Championship from Johnny Gargano. Obviously, this wasn't a title match, but this is a big win nonetheless from a Performance Center trainee, a NXT rookie, if you will. So with that being said, bros, we're going to give this one a 7.8 on the bro ratings. Moving on. Backstage, L.A. Knight says, everyone isn't talking about Kyle O'Reilly, but about the W that I put up against that mustache moron Dexter Lumis. And I saw Indy Hartwell out there looking like a sweet little Pop-Tart with a twinkle in her eyes that tells me there's a tingle in her loins. Yeah! There is nothing better than an L.A. Knight. And that's not just an insult. That's just a fact of life. Yeah! L.A. Knight. Great promo. This guy is money on the microphone. Not gonna lie. Let's just hope his in-ring continues. He needs some big wins here. You're looking at a major player in NXT. Up next, we have, in that same interview segment, Mackenzie Mitchell's just sitting there, and Everrise comes in. Everrise comes in and says, that guy, what a dummy. Well, now, Mackenzie, do you have any questions for us? Maybe about our hit Saturday morning social media program, Everrise Rules? And Mackenzie says, back to you guys, and totally just blows them off. Hilarious segment. Everrise does rule. It's true. Look it up. Our next contest, we have Bronson Reed versus Austin Theory. Now, if Bronson Reed wins this one, he gets another shot at Johnny Gargano's North American Championship, featuring Super 10 referee. And, of course, Bronson Reed was going to win this one. Come on, guys. Dexter Lumis came down. Indy Hartwell was all freaking out. Johnny Gargano interfered, as you can imagine. Super kick Bronson Reed. That wasn't enough. Bronson Reed knocks Theory off hits him with a big suplex, I believe, and then climbs the top rope. Tsunami splash. 1, 2, 3. Bronson Reed is your winner. A little bit of a distraction there with Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. So, with that being said, we're going to give this match a 7.6 on the Bro ratings. Moving on, we now have our 1-minute figure review. Okay, here's your 1-minute figure review. We've got Scott Dawson, NXT TakeOver Elite figure. Check that bad boy out. Now, Scott Dawson, some of you may know, is one half of the former NXT Tag Team Champions, The Revival. Pretty solid stuff here. Scott Dawson making his NXT debut March 7th, 2013. This is a great figure. One of the NXT, OGs for tag team wrestling, that's for sure. Coming with the NXT Tag Team title accessory. That's great likeness on a Scott Dawson NXT figure. Now back to me. And we're back. We've got more NXT action to continue with. Backstage, we see MSK and Kushida, and they're saying, hey, we've got the main event coming up. And they're talking with Mackenzie, and MSK says 3 people are better than 1, so that's why they had to come out and save Kushida from the attack of Legado del Phantasma last week. And Kushida says, you know what? We are all champions. That's why we're great. But people should now call us tonight MS Kushida. And that's a great team name, MS Kushida versus Legado del Phantasma in your main event of the evening. But up next, Imperium versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dain. Pretty decent match between the two. Fabian Eichner, Martel Bartel, they look pretty good. Drake Maverick really carried most of the match for his team. Killian Dain didn't do too much in this match, except for he was on the outside. Marcel Barthel ordered Alexander Wolf to pick up a chair and hit Killian Dain. Wolf would not hit him with the chair. So, what is going on there? Personally, if Alexander Wolf, Killian Dain, and Drake Maverick get together in a group of their own, you have the reformation of Sanity in NXT. And then you could get Nikki Cross back, and that would just be absolutely crazy. So, if that happens, you heard it here first. Eric Young, he's on Impact Wrestling, but I think Drake Maverick would fill in quite well in a just complete insane type role. Insanity. So, decent match, but in the end, it was Imperium hitting their top rope flying uppercut maneuver. 1, 2, 3. They're your winners over Drake and Killian. In the end, they stand tall, put their hands behind their back on the entrance ramp, and we'll see what happens with Imperium here. But we're going to give this match a 7.2 on the Bro ratings. Moving on, Pete Dunne ran down all the current champions, and he says he is the baddest man in NXT. Try to prove me wrong. You know what? Give the man a title shot. I want to see Pete Dunne versus Karrion Kross. Now, book it, NXT. Then we have Cameron Grimes back, and he's ready to buy that watch, and he says, you know what? Give me that one. That one's the best. I'll just wear it out of the store. Just ring me up. Well, someone walks up right next to him and says, that's a nice watch, kid. But this one, and he puts out a watch of his own. This is $1 million watch. The camera pans up, and all you see is his face laughing, going, ha 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 ha, da ha 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 ha. And it was none other than the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. And Cameron Grimes was just like, DiBiase! Absolutely hilarious segment here. Perfect stuff for Cameron Grimes. You know what? I'm hoping we see a little more of the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, just making a little couple cameo appearances with Cameron Grimes. I thought it was great stuff. Well, very well done segment there by NXT. Next up, we have a contest tag team action. Aliyah and Jessi Kamea of the Robert Stone brand versus Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. Well, before this match even started, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell come down and they just totally beat up, lay out Candice and, Shotzi and Ember, just totally whip them. And while that's going on, Robert Stone hands the belts over to Aliyah and Jessi Kamea, and they're just like in the ring celebrating like they won the championship. And the line of this segment was Beth Phoenix says, you know what? I am not going to trust a man who doesn't own a single sock. So, good stuff there. But a complete waste of a segment. Truthfully, NXT. I get it. You're setting up the Shotzi and Ember versus Candice and Indy, but I don't know. Wasn't very happy with that one personally. So we're gonna still give this a rating. We're still gonna count it. Even though it was a kind of a throwaway match, the bell didn't ring. We're leading into the match, so we're gonna give this one a 6.5 on the bro ratings. Moving on, Adam Cole is interviewed by a gentleman from ESPN, and you know what? Asked him a lot of questions. Adam Cole was to the point, giving him the answers that he wanted to give him, where he wanted to share some information, talking about his longest reigning NXT championship, 403 days, I believe, and should he choose to challenge Karrion Kross for the NXT championship, well, Karrion Kross's time would be up. So we'll see if that develops there. But then, as it panned out, Adam Cole was just totally abusing this interviewer here, saying, he made him late, where Adam Cole was the one talking on the phone, making this interview late. And the camera pans out, and Kyle O'Reilly was watching this. So I have a feeling we're going to see Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly, Part 2. Part 2. So that brings us to our main event of the evening, Legado del Phantasma versus MS Kushida, 6-man tag team action. And this was the match we were waiting for. A lot of high-flying, crazy moves, stiff kicks, submissions. Kushida looked great. MSK looked great. Legado del Phantasma looked great. Kushida injured at some point in time in this match. I don't know the severity, but medical staff was checking in on him. Santos Escobar grabs him, throws him in the ring, hits him with a phantom driver, and the other two guys, Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, hit the running Russian leg sweep kick maneuver on MSK for the 1, 2, 3. Your winners, Legado del Phantasma. Escobar picks up the Cruiserweight Championship. The other two pick up the Tag Team Championship. And they are standing tall at the end of NXT this evening. Great match, great main event. We're going to give that one an 8.1 on the bro rating. So that means that was your match of the night, your main event. But what a great surprise. Zayda Ramier beats Toni Storm. Craziness, bros. So that gives us 7 matches or in-ring segments and an average bro rating of 7.44. A little better than last week, so good for NXT. But now, it's prediction time! What's gonna happen? I'll tell you what's gonna happen next week on NXT. We're gonna have the Women's Tag Team Championship defended in a street fight. your winners and new women's NXT Tag Team Champions will be Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell as they defeat Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. Also, in a Falls Count Anywhere match, we're going to have Isaiah Swerve Scott defeat Leon Ruff. So there you have it, folks. I'm your host, Jimmy the Gibson. Thank you so much for watching. Please like my video, share my video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. We will see you next time. Some more NXT. You gotta get your fix.